Well, I think it's safe to say that I'm never watching that movie again. Amores Perros, released in 2000, and is directed by Alejandro González Iñárritu, who made his feature-length directorial debut with this movie, and has also directed such films like 21 Grams, Babel, Beautiful, Birdman, and The Revenant. And this movie is the first chapter in Iñárritu's Death trilogy, I guess, that also includes 21 Grams and Babel. I think I've seen 21 Grams before, I've never seen Babel, and, yeah, if you want a trilogy to, talks about death a lot. Death is great thing to talk about and to watch. So if you're into that, it's a trilogy for you, I guess. And this movie is starring Emilio Echevarria, Gael Garcia Bernal, Goya Toledo, Alvaro Guerrero, Vanessa Bush, Jorge Salinas, and Adriana Barraza. And the reason why we're talking about Amores Perros today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a longtime contributor and supporter of this channel, Dr. Camp. Thank you very much for the recommendation. I truly appreciate it. You've been here for so long. You've donated so much. You've supported me for so many years. I truly appreciate it. I did not like this movie, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't like this being recommended to me. After I started watching it, and I realized, oh, these characters are involved in dog fights. And there's a lot of dog death in this movie. And oh god, this movie was hard, and this review is not going to be long. I will say that I did finish this film. I have a lot of trauma when it comes to animal death, and specifically dog death in my life, and the images in here of dogs attacking each other, dogs being shot, so many just cold, dead dog bodies that you see towards the end of this movie, brings back a lot of bad memories. And I'm not gonna sit here and talk long about this movie because I just don't want to. They bring up terrible memory. Like, I couldn't get to bed last night. That's how bad it was. Again, thank you very much, Dr. Camp. I appreciate the recommendation. If we could avoid any dog death movies in the future, I would greatly appreciate that. I'm not going to watch any more like this. I will put that out there. But if anyone else out there also wants to be like Dr. Camp and help support me and contribute to this channel with non-lethal dog-killing movies, then you can select the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Send over your donation of $5 or more with your movie recommendation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout-out, just like what I did with Dr. Camp here. Amores Perros follows 3 different story arcs that are all centered around a tragic car crash that happens in the middle of Mexico City. We have the story of Octavio, who gets caught up in the dogfighting backyard arena, but is also secretly in love with his brother's wife and wants to be with her. We have Daniel and Valeria dealing with a leg injury from the car accident and loses her puppy in the floorboards of her apartment. And then we follow El Chivo, who is a hitman who cares for a bunch of the local stray dogs in his area. So I want to preface this right now that I do think that the quality of this movie is excellent. There are many directors and many reviewers, people out there, viewers of this movie, that say that this is the greatest Mexican film that has ever been produced. And I could vouch for that. I can get behind that. I think this film, quality-wise, is excellent. The performances that we get in here are spectacular. Emilio Echevarria, who plays El Chivo, that whole final monologue that he has on the answering machine at the end of this movie is almost worth the wait for it. Just the weight you see on his shoulders, the emotion that is being hidden, and then when it just flows out of him like a river, it's a beautiful thing to see. Goya Toledo has a great performance in here, and how heartbroken she is to have the thing that she has put her entire life into, have that taken away from her when she loses her leg for the car crash, and then after, she's losing her dog, that's like her lovable little companion. This film is very dog-centric, by the way. I mean, the title is literally Loving Dogs, so there's a lot of dog themes in here. And it does convey the blind loyalty that a dog has for its provider. And we see a bunch of characters and situations in here that questions loyalty. And when it comes to Octavio and Susanna, who's trying to be loyal to her husband, but she also likes her husband's brother, and he's a better person than the person that she married, or people cheating on each other in here. Very dog-centric. The problem, though, for me, is the, I'm not going to say unnecessary violence towards animals in here, because, you know, it's part of the story. I'm not going to, that's what you come up with. I'm not going to say it's unnecessary. But for me, just with my trauma of like seeing my dog dead many years ago, just coming home, not being able to say goodbye to him, not knowing that something was wrong, and just feeling the coldness of his skin when you touch him and the limpness, this movie just brought all that trauma back to me, and I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Like, the reviewer of me wants to give this movie an excellent score. It really does. But just the person side of me wants to just crucify this movie, because I don't want to see cruelty happening to any animal, in particular dogs, because dogs are just lovable creatures who just want that loyalty and want that unconditional love, which is what this messages of these movies and themes of these movies are trying to convey in here. But I'm just telling you, the watcher of this review, that my view of this film is probably going to be way more negative than what the average person is, because people are going into this watching a movie. For me, this is traumatic. It's bringing things up that I've thought I worked past, but now it's all just triggering me, and it's all coming back to me. So yeah, this is not going to be a long review. I'm actually going to stop it right here. This film it's great. It's shot well, it's produced well, it's acted well. But yeah, that story, I'm never watching this movie again, and I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to tell you to go out of your way to see this movie, just from how I feel about it. I don't want you to feel the same way. So sadly, I'm going to give Amores Perros 1.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
That extra 1 Blu-ray on there is really for the quality of movie. Like, good for you. Everything else, it's all based on the dog violence. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't take it. So guys, if you've seen Amores Perros, what did you think about it? Maybe you don't have a triggering experience and you're able to sit back and watch this movie and watch it for what it is. If you are, excellent. Please comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.